kwabikuzwa ngile ntombi yami ihlala enkambeni shuya ntanda kwabikuzwa ngile ntombi yami ihlala enkambeni shuya ntanda ngizamthengi lamabhanzi iziwiji lebanana ngizamthengi lamabhanzi iziwiji lebanana.
My name is Carl Wall. I'm from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I served in Zambia from 2004 to 2007. I was a Community Action for Health Project volunteer, or health promotion. I never got the acronym right. And I was stationed for 2 years as a CAP volunteer. That's what our acronym was. I was a CAP volunteer for 2 years in northwestern Zambia.
Any stories about the flight over to Zambia? Memories?
You may not want to share this with...
No censoring.
Oh, okay. We were on South African Airways.
Yeah.
And you know, it's an international flight, so they give you free alcohol, and we thought that was great because we had never. I'm from the UP, and I didn't have a lot of money, so this is the first time I got to have Johnny Walker Black, and I thought that was pretty good. So the guy said to me, the attendant, he was a South African gentleman, and he said, "Well, sir, we usually don't serve more than 2 drinks," and the guy sitting next to me, because we both wanted another one, the guy sitting next to me said, "We're going to Zambia tomorrow." The guy said, "I'll be right back," and he came back with multiple bottles. And then I had no idea, I do remember, I mean, we didn't get out of hand or anything, we just, we enjoyed ourselves, but I remember waking up because it's such a long flight, and we opened the window to look out, and that was the first time I saw Africa. And it was the Namib Desert, but I have no sense of geography, so I'm looking out the window, and things aren't really going together very well, and I'm saying, "Oh my God, I hope that's not Zambia," because it was just a sea of sand, and the same attendant, I kept asking him, "Where are we?" and I didn't understand. He kept saying Windhoek, Windhoek, and I was like, "Gosh, it's Afrikaner's language. I just don't get it," and it was Windhoek, So, but that was my memory. From Johannesburg up to Lusaka, which is the capital of Zambia. And I think that's when I started. It was about then, I think 10 minutes after we got off the airplane, I started to realize what I had done. I tossed out my career, and it all hit me at once because I couldn't find my rain jacket. It's obviously raining, and the guys, it was kind of raining. It's that rainy season where it rains and then it's sunshine and it rains again, and the guys were cutting grass with the slashers, the bent pieces of metal, and this was on the nice road, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh my God, what have I gotten into?" And so I had my oh my God moment in the first 45 minutes, and we got to where they were having an orientation period, and it was at this campground. It was kind of like the equivalent of a KOA. That was the best I could describe it, except it was a KOA with, kudus and other random animals that I had never seen running around. And I'll never forget this bug that was, I still don't know what it was, but it landed on this girl's shoulder who was so calm and so collected, and she started screaming. And right about then, I was hugging my knees to my chest and rocking back and forth going, "What did I do? What did I do?" So, but we got through that, and it was within another couple of days, we went on a visit to a village in central Zambia, and I still see those people, make a point to go visit them.
Say about that.
What's that?
Well, you still see those people say
I see them just because when I was a provincial coordinator 3 years later, we had volunteers in that same village, and I would go visit him, and it's a depth of the warmness of Zambians, and I'm sure it applies to a lot of Africa, but automatically remember you, you know, the family comes out, you know, and my name is Carl, so R is not, it's not a sound in most Bantu languages, so the old man, the head man for the village, refers to me as Bakul, and his son referred to me as Bakairo Road, which was this, you know, main drag in Lusaka. So, but every time I'd come there, they'd all come out. It was always, and they would say things like, "You're even fatter than you were before," which is, which and from what I understand, this is pretty widespread throughout Southern Africa, or Africa as a whole. Size indicates wealth and prosperity, so they would see me and they'd say, "Calvin, you are even fatter than you were before." And at first I was kind of taken aback, but as the years went by, you know, I'd shake my hands like this and say, "Yeah, I am." So they were great people. I was still somewhat of a corporate person when I got to Zambia. Some people would use another term for that. I won't repeat it on the air, but well, some people would say I was kind of an asshole when I came in. So time, you know, I expected things to be done on time. I expected, you know, my perception was, and I'll be very honest, my perception when I came to Africa was, you know, and it's, looking back, I feel so bad about it, but my perception was, you know, it's laziness, or it's, you know, if you work hard, you get ahead. I had this kind of Horace Alger view of the world that, you know, anyone can surmount their circumstances if they just exert themselves as individuals and, you know, really put their minds to it. So when you see things are kind of, you see people sitting around and you think, oh, well, they're just lazy. And I found out unfortunately, that's a reaction by a lot of people, and I'm not proud that that was my initial reaction when I came to Zambia. And as time goes on, and you start to express some empathy and start to kind of walk, and I guess in the words of the Bible, you know, wear the cape and walk the mile in someone else's shoes, you start to understand that things are actually very difficult. And the people you're with, and I say every time I go to Zambia, they get smarter and smarter, because I understand more and more what sort of, not just environmental, but cultural, economic, social pressures that exist that shape, you know, how a Zambian farmer has to perform. And it's amazingly difficult. You know, I had a few demonstration farms. I decided that if I was going to talk about farming, I need to practice some farming, and I farmed a fraction of what they did, and I thought I was going to die from exhaustion. You know, it was just like, wow, this is hard, because it's all manual labor. It's all hoes and axes and things like that. So yeah, it was. Sorry, I lost the train of thought a little bit. But
that's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, but learning, I think, in terms of what that did for how I do my work now, I just got my master's from Wisconsin, and, you know, went back to Zambia to do research. But the way I look at things now is to start off with that basis of respect for farmers before I go in, and, you know, and absolutely stepping back and not making judgments about people and saying, you know, let's see how things really are, and spend some time talking and understanding and asking questions before, you know, doing work or making pronouncements, and that's, yeah, like I said, that shaped how I've done and what sort of work I will do and what work I want to do down the road. A quick anecdote.
Okay.
Snakes were quite prevalent in my area because we were close to national parks and game management areas. So one thing we did have a lot of was snakes. And
Poisonous snakes?
yes, you know, various levels of poisonous. Zambians consider all snakes poisonous. But I'm trying to think of what, oh yeah, there was the night, I didn't have a flashlight for a long time. I lost my flashlight early in my service. Sort of got used to not having a flashlight, and I would do my business, go to the bathroom, you know, at night, and you scrub your path clear so that you can see it in the moonlight. And every night I would go to the bathroom and whatnot. And I'll never forget the night that my parents had sent me a flashlight, and this was relatively late in my service. And I turned on the flashlight, and I'm going down the path, and my chimbusu had a cobra all the way around the bottom of it. My latrine had a cobra, So, and by that point, I had been in Zambia long enough that this didn't really shock me too much. But I started shouting the word for snake because I was trying to get some help, because there was a place where guys got together and drank beer like 200 yards away, and I kept saying, I thought I was saying snake, 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 but I was saying the word for ridges, and so like the ridges you dig in agriculture. And I was actually saying ridges, 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 and just shouting it out into the night. And later the next day, I killed the snake, went to bed. And later the next day, I went to my neighbors and said, I was shouting for your help. You didn't come. And he said, we thought you were talking about agriculture again. And we just said, we said, that guy's just crazy about farming. So, I'm going back in 2 weeks to either Mongu or Sananga district in Zambia to work with farmers again. I need, as a Peace Corps response volunteer. I've been trying to get a job. The NGO world's a little bit tight with the economy, but this came up 3 weeks ago. I applied for it. They gave it to me.
Is this one of those, like, for how long?
It's 12 months. 12 months, yeah. And I won't be in a village, which, that's too bad, but, it'll be in a small town, and I'll be working with farmers again, and that's where I like to be.
My name is Amanda Ortega. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Zambia starting in January of 2005 until about end of March 2007. I was in the Community Action for Health project as a community health volunteer in a very, very rural village called Ntambu. I loved it so much. I was a trainer there, and then I transferred to Honduras. I extended my service for another year where I was also a community health worker, and I loved it so much I extended even more, so I did about 4 years total. Best 4 years of my life, amazing. It's inspired me. I'm a teacher right now, largely because of the Peace Corps.
All right, so my name is Benjamin Frigo Vaz. I was stationed in Zambia. My capital city for my province was Kasama, and the village I was stationed at was called Chandaweya.